Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Force here with some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today's game is going to be between Satiini and ToXiC. This is a Terran versus Protoss matchup here on the map Antigua Shipyard. And let's go ahead and start this game off with some player information, beginning up here in the upper left-hand spawn position with our red Terran player, Satiini. Satiini took first place at the Autocraft Grand Slam number 2 on March 31st of 2012, and then on May 20th, he took second place at the European Zotac Cup number 107. And actually, Satiini has seen a lot of success from those weekly Zotac Cups, managing to take a couple of semifinal spots, and also he won the 13th Cup over Demaga. Now, Demaga, of course, a well-known Zerg player, so that's quite an accomplishment there for Satiini. Now, his opponent down over here in the lower right-hand spawn position, possibly a player you haven't heard quite as much about, we have got our blue Protoss player, ToXiC. ToXiC is actually known as one of Spain's best Protoss players. He's been seen playing show matches against players like SYZ and Lucifron, and he's done quite well in many Spanish offline tournaments. An example being that he took 5th place at the LVP season number 1. Beyond that, I actually don't have much more tournament information for ToXiC, and all of this information here coming over from Team Liquid's Liquipedia. If you'd like to get more player information, either be it bio or tournament placements, that's where you can get it. And let's hop right into the game. ToXiC opening up with the pylon, gateway, and assimilator, and then moving out with his probe scout, first checking the upper right hand spawn position. Back over here for our red Terran player Satiini, we are going to see an expansion first here as he moves on down to the natural and places his command center. Immediately after that, once he gets to 150, we should be seeing a barracks. Wants to get that out as soon as possible following that quick expansion, just so he has some early game defense against zealots and stalkers. They can be very, very deadly if you don't even have a couple of Marines. Now, most likely, too, we may very well see him come out with a bunker to defend himself. Could see it placed right over here and just try to defend this position, but then you'd worry about stalkers walking down over here, so we may even see that right over here just to defend the ramp. We'll have to see what Satiini decides to do. It's really going to come down to what he scouts ToXiC doing, and if he feels like there will be any aggression from his Protoss opponent. We do have ToXiC now moving up into the main, scouting out, doing a bit of worker harass here as well. He's going to get a few shots off on the SCV. Tries to continue to do that. The SCV turns around to harass the probe, and then the probe moves around. Now he is trapped, though, as we do have the beginnings of a supply depot built here, and now he's going to continue on that. But now the probe trapped inside of the main. Really not a chance that ToXiC will be able to save that. We'll see that first Marine come out, take that out for a quick free kill. SCV Scout, after spotting the upper right, will now be moving down to the lower left-hand position. In response to the expansion, ToXiC himself decides to place down a Nexus, is coming out with a Stalker right now, and I don't think he did a Zealot. I think he just used those extra resources. Yes, no Zealot, using those extra 100 resources instead of making a Zealot to get his Nexus out a little bit quicker. Gotta love it there, but we've got that Stalker coming out, and that is definitely something Satiini will have to worry about unless he comes out with a bunker or pulls some SCVs to help his Marines. Speaking of Marines, we do have one Marine chasing down the probe. ToXiC tries to see if he can escape, but unable to do so. Marine gets the kill, and 3 Marines in play here. Will it be enough, though? Stalker is now moving out. SCV Scout actually checked a lower left first. Wow, I had really thought Satiini was going straight to lower right, but he actually, after upper right, he goes cross-positional. You can take a look at his vision on the minimap and scout at lower left, but now he's going to finally make it on over and see that there is a Nexus coming through. That's really unfortunate there for Satiini that that scout was so late. We do have 5 Marines in play with a 6 coming through. We'll see what the Stalker is able to do. Now, the Stalker has got 2 things. It's got a range and a speed advantage over the Marines. The thing is, though, if the Marines can get it within range, then that Stalker's in trouble. A little bit of stutter step micro doing some damage. Not enough to kill it, but enough to force it back, getting that Stalker down to 47 out of 80 health and also depleting all of its shields. Marines continue to move out. Stalker, again, needs to be careful. Now, in the middle of the field, again, the Stalker does have that advantage of the speed and the range, allowing, with some micro, him to do a bit of damage and soften up those Marines. We'll be doing some of that here, getting a few shots off. Needs to be careful. The stutter step micro when those Marines get in range is so scary. pulls back, and at this point he's just going to retreat fully, I expect, just to recharge his shields and try to save that Stalker for another day. Back over here for Satiini, we are actually seeing 3 bunkers and a supply depot. Really concerned about a push here from his opponent. Now we do have 3 gateways in play with a 4th coming through, and here is a Twilight Council. Very interesting. ToXiC doesn't have a lot of workers down over here. He's actually stopped worker production. Never mind. There we go. Finally some more coming up, and Blink Stalkers will be the name of the game. ToXiC coming out with some Blink Stalkers off of 2 bases with 4 gateways. We're going to see a couple more gateways come through, or is he just going to go with these 4 and start trying to mass things up here? I'll be interested to see what he decides to do. He does have this probe chilling out. That's what leads me to believe there will be at least another. Oh, there's a Robo. Here you go. Robo to come out with an observer, which will allow those Stalkers to blink into the main of Satiini, completely bypassing those frontal defenses. Really excited to see that come through. We got a forward pylon over here for ToXiC. Should see another one a little bit closer to the front of Satiini's base is what I would expect, but Blink Stalker Harass will be coming out, and he may just wait until that Robo and first observer are finished and just, again, try to waltz right into the main. Over here for Satiini, we do have another command center out, allowing him to saturate that natural expansion a bit quicker. Also, 2 engineering bays over here. Those are going to be, of course, for those 1-1 upgrades. Got a bunch of Marines coming out, few Marauders as well, and now coming out with that factory. He'll be following that up with a starport to start to come out with some medevacs. And now, again, Satiini's frontal defenses pretty solid. These supply depots providing us distracting fire for any range units and also getting in the way of zealots. But again, as we know, we're just going to be seeing some mass Stalker action. So that first observer now coming through here, that is just coming to play. The scan allows him to spot that. And he also spots that Twilight Council. I wonder if he knows now that it is going to be Blink Stalkers. You can see Satiini has actually salvaged 2 of his 3 bunkers, just the 1 remaining. And ToXiC now coming out with a few more Stalkers. He does have just the 4 warp gates with which to work with, though. Satiini in the center of the map with his bio. He sees the massive Stalkers. And ToXiC, I'll be interested to see if he decides to continue his push here or if this is going to force him back. He's going to move forward. He's going to blink right on top of these units if they try to run away. There's some Blink Micro pulling back the injured Stalkers over some nice target firing there from Satiini. Allows him to pick off a few. 1 Marauder trying to chase down that injured Stalker. Unable to do so, though. And here's the observer. The Stalker's now moving out. All right, ToXiC making his move. Finally, Factory Scout spots some Stalkers in the center of the map. We got the double medevacs in play. Those are the first 2. Not a lot of units, though. 11 Marines and 2 Marauders. Those Marines aren't that great against these Blink Stalkers. And now with the observer in the main, this is what I predicted would happen. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the full bulk of his force, as a few of those Stalkers really just focusing down that factory. But he is doing some damage, already taking out these attachments, severely cutting back on the production capabilities here for Satiini. Satiini does have Stim Pack. Yes, he does. He's also got those 1-1 upgrades very close to finished. Armor upgrades are coming through. Those are just about to finish. There's the stimmed up bio, forcing back those Stalkers, and we're going to see a few more coming into play. Should be warping in some more units. Here's actually some Zealots, and we're going to be seeing some Zealot bombing as well. So with this Blink Stalker harass, some Zealot harass through this Warp Prism. Now Satiini has lifted up that orbital that was in his main, and we'll be using it now to start mining from a 3rd over here. Blink Stalkers coming from the front. Here comes the Warp Prism Harass dropping in the resource line of the main. Let's see how quickly Satiini responds. The Zealot's now in the main. Warp Prism wants to set up shop, or is he just going to pull back? Yeah, it's just going to pull back for now. Stalkers also pulling back. We've got that stimmed up bio. That's a major concern once it starts to get more Marauder heavy as well. Zealots still over here doing significant damage. 13 workers killed so far. Very nice there. Kind of not, not just focusing on the fact that, hey, I'm going Blink Stalkers, deciding to throw in that Warp Prism Harass. I mean, again, he had the Robo anyways to come out with the Observer to blink into the main. I love to see this play here from ToXiC. Definitely very, very smart of him. Doing a little bit of extra damage while Satiini was distracted at the front with all those Stalkers. Let's take a look at the total worker kill count. Ended at 17. Still has his Observer spotting the high ground. Still going to allow him to make his way right on up into the main if he so desires. Now we got all this bio down low, and this allows the Stalkers to just walk up and start doing some damage. Now we did also see some Zealots getting warped in and put into that Warp Prism, and now the Stalker's up here, and again takes that bio so much time to wrap back around. The ToXiC was able to do some damage. Taking a look at the resources lost, Satiini quite far behind for resources lost right now. He does also have a third of those, so even though he's losing... Oh, sandwich the Stalkers! They're dead! Bio from the low ground, making it so that even if they blinked down there, they were done with. And I'm a little disappointed, though, that ToXiC didn't make use of this Warp Prism while all of that was going on. I think, was he able to also micro this Warp Prism and drop maybe in the natural or maybe in the main again? He could have done even more significant damage there. You see, he's coming to do this now. This is too late. Satiini has dealt with all your Stalkers. Now he can very easily see that this is coming and just respond with a little bit of bio, and that's exactly what we're seeing Satiini do here. Great defense indeed by Satiini. Although he has lost a significant amount, they're actually about even now. As ToXiC, after losing all of those Stalkers, that really set him back. That was a beautiful play by Satiini to sandwich those Stalkers. Very impressive. ToXiC warping in a couple of High Templar now. You know, we've been so focused on the action, haven't been looking back here at home. He's got a few more gateways coming through. Does also have a Twilight Council coming out with that charge upgrade. It doesn't look like there's been any counter harass here from Satiini. I think he's really just been focused on defending, understandably so, of course. Take a quick look at their vision. Now, I mentioned before that Satiini has his third, and again, you can see that ToXiC also has his third up and running over here. Although I think his income's going to be a little bit behind Satiini's. Yeah, it looks like Satiini does have a slight advantage right now. 2 Zealots, 2 High Templar. Do the High Templar have Storm researched? Yes, they do. Now, do they have the energy? We'll find out in a second. Missile turret. Oh, so close. So very close. Charge Zealots, Archons, and a couple of Stalkers and High Templar now moving to take control of the center of the map. Some Storm, killing off some more workers. Now up to 33 worker kills, and Zealots going to go to town as well. Now we do have a drop coming down over here and a drop over here. A couple of Photon Cannons to helping to defend. Also Zealots getting warped in. A cannon plus some Stalkers helping to defend over here. We've got a push coming in this direction. Pylon gets placed over here. The Zealots in the main have finally been dealt with. There's so much bio in the main, and this is going to hurt ToXiC right now. Now he's coming out with a few Zealots to try to help defend. Still dealing with one Marauder over here. Maybe just one more Zealot warp in will help him take care of that. This is a really good position here for Satiini's bio, but he's also getting pushed over here, and a massive Storm and Zealots killing now 62 workers. So many Zealots over here. Storm and Archons forcing back the bio. Bio over here still doing some damage. It's tough, though, because now Satiini has lifted off the third, and we still have ToXiC mining over here. He's dealt with this Marauder. He's still got some bio inside of his main. Zealots and a Stalker should finally be able to finish that off. And now Satiini, without a mining third, is back just on 2 bases, really. Kind of 1. You combine both these mineral patches, and it equates to about 1. Just because there's so few resources there. This is a good position here for Satiini, though. He's going to try to sandwich these big Storms going down, though, doing some significant damage to the bio. Charge Zealots plus Archons. Satiini is going to be forced back. Also some reinforcement Archons coming there from the top position, getting warped in from this pylon over here. More Zealots, more High Templar. ToXiC in a solid position right now. Got vision over here from the medevac, but that's not much. Couple medevacs sacrificing themselves. That's just Satiini dropping the ball. That's what that is there. ToXiC now in a very strong position. Taking a look at the resources lost. Satiini is behind. Look at this, though. 64 workers killed for ToXiC. And we've seen Satiini just throw away some units as well. Poor Marauder. The medevac left him to dry. All right, now ToXiC does have an advantage at the moment, I would have to say. Satiini has resumed mining here at the third, but I think ToXiC could really just push right in there. I don't think Satiini has enough at the moment to even deal with this. 83 armor supplies opposed to 50 for Satiini. There's a few High Templar with enough energy to Storm. Has to worry about EMPs. There's the Storm, forcing back the bio, allowing those Zealots to charge, and also letting those Archons push right on through, and that's going to be it. I don't think Satiini has enough to deal with it at this point. Why would you need upgrades or micro or macro when you have Storm? Satiini not too happy, but I am thrilled because this was an excellent game to watch and commentate, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this game here between Satiini and ToXiC. Great game from both players, to be honest. I mean, obviously ToXiC won, but Satiini did some excellent defense against that early Blink Stalker harass, and he also had some pretty effective drops. Unfortunately, he was not able to deal with the strong push of Charged Zealots and High Templar, and as you saw him say, that Storm doing so much damage this game. Alright guys, thanks again for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe, and as always, keep watching and keep owning.